What is up, everybody? It is your boy, the hardcore Hoochie Daddy, JB Anderson, and I am on Drinking at Moe's.
Again.
Again.
This is Drinkin at Demos, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Moe's, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Moe's, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, always a scream.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkinatmos be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're finishing filling out your order, use the code Drinking at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody, welcome Drinking at Moe's. Big Mo here. You know the drill. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Helps with that pain in the ass YouTube algorithm. Where most places you can find, oh God, it's a pain in the ass. Where most places you can find audio podcasts to leave reviews and all that there. Today, I'm welcoming back the hardcore shit daddy himself,
Hello.
JB Anderson. How you doing?
It me, what it do?
Oh man, it's been a while, but hey, I've been keeping up with H2O, at least everything with you on that end. I've been keeping an eye on Facebook and all that for whenever anything outside of there comes up. But man, if I gotta say, when it comes to looking forward to 2025, if 2024 was any indication for, yourself and H2O, man, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. If like I even have half of what I had in 2024, I'll be stoked with 2025 because this past year has just been like super cool. Like basically since the summer, I feel like I've been hitting like a really good stride and just been running on like all cylinders. I've been having a blast right now.
I was going to say, I know there's been work between H2O. Words are hard.
Yes.
H2O and TWE, two promotions that they've been both have been very good to me.
Mhm.
But I know the Matt Tremont Tournament of Death was actually held in the TWE arena.
Yeah.
And you and a group went down there for that. And, I see similarities between the H2O and TWE arenas. Smaller venues, but man, when you get the crowds that go into those shows there, man, for me, watching from IWTV, it's like making me think, damn it, I gotta go. I got to
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah, the vibe in that place was really cool and it was pretty familiar to like kind of how H2O was. Like it just feels like Southern H2O. Locker room's cool, fans are really cool. They have their dedicated regular fan base and they were really receptive to us there. Like I wrestled out of the 3-day weekend, I wrestled on the second night and the third night. And I didn't know how the reception was going to be for me because like never been down there before, first time in Tennessee, first time in this company, and there was kind of like some H2O guys were getting booed when they came out because, it was TWE versus H2O. So it's like,
Yeah,
just brand rivalry shit. We're all cool with it.
yeah.
Um, and I come out, and then like as soon as like the Hoochie Daddy thing started and they announced me, all of a sudden it was, oh, we like him, cool. And then like people were behind me, and I'm like, awesome. I didn't know what to expect coming out here, but this was pretty dope. And yeah, they were very kind to me down there, very receptive. I had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, that was a good weekend of shows. I
Oh
know
yeah.
I might have caught up a little late on the uh, Tournament of Death, but I remember. I mean, there was, I think, no. Now that I think back on it, I think there was maybe only one person from the finals that I haven't had on the show.
Oh, really?
Which, when I thought about it, I'm like, holy crap, that's weird.
Well, the final was what was it? It was Tank, Neil, Shook, and Stretch, right? That was the final. Or am I
You know
missing
what? Then I
somebody?
think I had everybody because I've had all those.
Yeah.
Because I thought I for some reason I thought there was one. I had it in my head that there was one that I didn't, but out of those I've had them all, which
Yeah.
was just weird for me thinking, for the guy that, before I was in the Navy got to pretty damn shy. And then
Mhm.
the Navy freaking beat that shit out of me. But
Oh yeah, naturally.
but then it's just like if you would have told me before then that someday in oh god, I'd have a podcast where I'm over 300 episodes now, and I'd a big deathmatch tournament that I literally had everybody that was in the finals. It was
Yeah.
I would have thought you were full of shit.
Oh yeah, I have similar feelings when I get to do something really cool in wrestling, and I am like, man, if I time traveled and I told young me that I was going to do this, he'd look at me and be like, listen here, man, from the future, you're a goof. Get out of my face.
Oh god,
They wouldn't believe me at all.
that would have so been me. It got just thinking back on it, and man, the one thing that jumps out to me that I know when I was watching it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but with the amount of wrestling that I've had to watch both for the podcast and outside of it,
Hmm.
sometimes memory gets a little fuzzy. But there was a thing between you and Jess Moss where it was like a battle of the shorty shorts.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was the last Monday night. Yeah,
Monday night, yeah.
yeah, because all right, so the show right before that one, it was H2O versus UK. And it
Yes,
was
that was a good one.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was me, Kennedy, Hardcastle, Anthrax, and it was supposed to be um Michael Caden from the UK.
Mm.
He wasn't able to make it over. So me and Anthrax decided to bring in Kyle the Skeleton as the fourth man. Um, then, Broski Jimmy Lloyd comes out and does his thing.
Oh
But
yeah.
in that match, it had been a running joke that me and Kennedy had the same gear on because they were like, "Oh, you guys are wearing the same thing," and I'm like, "Incorrect. I'm not wearing a shirt, and my shorts are shorter." And then that turned into a whole argument in the back of like, "No, my shorts are shorter," and we kept going back and forth about it. So it became like a joke, one that Jess was egging on more and more. It was more Jess egging it on than me or Kennedy, but it was still either way, it was fun.
Yeah.
But then when I did end up working Jess, she was like, it would be funny as hell if we had like a booty short off to see whose shorts were shorter. And she did beat me by about an inch and a half. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say
that
it was.
was it was the official ruling. Like Papa G could have gave an official ruling, but he decided to just eyeball it and say, no, we're done here. But like, he's he's a Hall of Famer for a reason, so I'm not going to question him.
And that definitely made for a entertaining start to that match for sure.
Yeah, I've kind of had this weird motif now of like starting all my matches kind of in a fun, lighthearted way. I haven't really been in a mode of lately of like I got to start real fucking aggressive because I don't have a lot of heat going into these matches, so like I'm just having fun and being entertaining.
Although recently, I think it was this last weekend, I had to watch it later because I was actually at that Revolver show. There was, speaking of starting in entertaining ways, you had a weapon you brought out that initially I didn't know what the heck was going on,
Hmm.
but then Stretch ended up uh, coining it, and I'm like, you know what that does? Look, the Tokyo Tower of Carpet Strips.
Ah, yeah. See, I've coined that. That is my invention. I use it for the first time at WHW. It's the shelter in New Jersey,
Mm,
and I have dubbed it the Baltimore Tower, because it's from like near Baltimore, Baltimore
yeah.
hardcore scene. So I want it to be my own thing. Like people are like, "Oh, it's a carpet strip Tokyo Tower." It's like, you know what? Nix that. The Tokyo Tower is the light tubes. Let the
Light
light
tubes.
tubes have it. So carpet strips. If you see carpet strips, call them Baltimore Towers.
I
Shake
like
my
it.
hand if you want to take my gimmick. It's fine.
Hey, no,
Just call
I'm
it the right damn thing.
yes, we will Baltimore Tower. You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's technic while similar, it's different because I mean light tubes, carpet strips. But
Hmm.
good lord, I still remember the first time my wife, I think it was during the Deathmatch Discovery Gauntlet, my earlier this year. My wife ended up watching, she wanted to watch something with me, and I just happened to already have that show on.
Right.
And all of a sudden, oh, here's a match using carpet strips. And she's like, oh my God, is that carpet strips?
They're pretty
I'm like,
nasty.
I just laughed. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I've enjoyed using them a lot. Are you able to pause the podcast for like a quick second? My
Oh,
dog downstairs is kind of bugging. I just want to make sure they're okay. So I'm trying to remember we were talking about carpet strips.
yes,
Um,
carpet strips. Yeah.
yeah. So
I,
they've kind of become like something I really enjoy using because like what was it? I was really worried by them when I first saw them because everyone was like, "Oh, you just gotta like, you know, hit them right or they'll shred you." And I'm like, "Yeah, that sucks. I hope I don't get shredded." Um, but then I like, I've watched old Danny Havoc stuff and I saw um how like creative he got with it, and then like I see how Neil Diamond Cutter uses them, and I'm watching how other people are using them, and I'm trying to figure out like different things to make or different things to do. So like they're so versatile, and I know a lot of people hate them as far as like people using them on each other. But like I don't know. I usually if you see me building some kind of crazy fucking carpet strip contraption, 90% of the time I'm going through it. So like, but every once in a while I'm able to convince someone to go through it.
oh God. Yeah, no, if I were to ever dabble in the ring, yeah, no, you wouldn't be getting me going through any of that because when my wife and I started, doing some of our own renovations when we first got the house that we're in, yeah, I've accidentally bumped into some of those carpet strips. Not fun.
Yeah, what is it? I'm trying to think of all the things I've done with them. I've done like carpet strip doors. I've done, the bats thing. Uh, Anthrax asked me to make him something different for one of his matches, so I made him a big X on a stick. Um, just putting the carpet strips in different directions. The tower, like the strip tower is probably like my favorite thing to like make. And it's funny because like people were talking about just alternatives to glass in like one of the deathmatch groups on Facebook, and someone was like, I don't know if anyone's ever made a carpet strip one of these before, and I was like, I'll make it. Like, I understand simple engineering. I can probably make this thing fucking work. And the first one I made was a three-story one, and it was like it was sturdy. It did what it needed. It got stuck in my back, which was what I wanted. But then the one I made for the last show was two levels, and I think that one was like a lot thicker and a lot like meaner looking.
Mm, yeah. I know. Oh God, what was the one? You know what? The one that I think that my wife ended up uh seeing was like, you know how in some of those like 200 light tube matches where like the light tubes are all like lining the ropes.
Oh, they did that with the strips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've set those up a couple times. I think I did it for a match with Anthrax and Stretch like a year ago. Um, but yeah, I think it was for one of the tournaments where they wanted that for their match. It was just they're all across. I want to do one of those one day. I think it'd be fun as shit to do like a carpet strip hell, like, having them all around the ring.
That, you know what? That would be different.
Hmm.
Instead of, I think it was in the one match that I saw, it was just the one side, but to do the whole damn ring,
Yeah. Well,
that would be something.
I
Something you guys.
have I do have a match in February that is going to be announced soon, and that might happen there. It's
Ooh.
yeah, in Philadelphia. So if you're in Philly and you want to see some carpet strip hell, oh boy, it's gonna happen.
Oh man. Yeah, that's I'm gonna have to keep my eye out for that.
Yeah.
But
Can't say what yet. Can't say with
um
who, but
can't think. Ooh,
yeah.
ooh. No
It'll
breaking news tonight other than the possibility of that.
it'll be a doozy.
Ooh. I like that. But another big show coming up that it'll be this episode will come out after, but I can't help but talk about it. The year end extravaganza, December or wait, is December 28th. For some reason,
Yeah.
I think I had it. I don't know what was going on with my damn notes here, but that one's shaping up to be a solid fucking show.
Yeah, and there's still some matches to be announced, but so far the card is pretty stacked. Like uh Becca and Kennedy versus and what is it, Nomi in a triple threat. Like that match is gonna be fucking dope. There's the tournament, or not the tournament, sorry. The Rumble
The
is
Rumble,
gonna be
yeah,
wild.
with a
Where I
shot for the Danny Havoc hardcore title.
Oh yeah, yeah, shot for the hardcore title, and luckily, um uh well, it's a hardcore rumble, so we're gonna get to use weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I am a participant. Everyone knows I'm gonna participate in the rumble. um so surprise, there's your news for the day. But yeah, I'm in there. My strategy is to get hit as little as possible, so if I do win the rumble I get to go in pretty hefty, pretty well rested.
Yeah,
um
that,
it's
that would be the goal, like in a lot of the tournaments, trying
yeah,
to take as little damage as you can
right.
to be as fresh as possible for that big finale, because Lord knows in most of those damn deathmatch tournaments, the main event is a fucking doozy of a shit show in a good way.
Yeah, and having to go, especially the 3 round tournaments, like I want to do it one day, but I'm sure it'll be tough. One of these days. Maybe that's what 2025 will be.
Ah,
There's like some rumors, or not rumors, but I'm having a couple things that are floating around, might get into a tournament or two next year.
nice.
Next year is already kind of gearing up to be pretty cool. Like the only thing that I have that's like solid booked for next year is was it Rated R Wrestling is doing their first ever show in Hurricane, West Virginia.
Mm.
It's in April. The main for that is Neil Diamond Cutter and Hardcore in a House of Horrors match, which is gonna be
Ooh.
sick. And I'm fighting Hot Dog Starks. There's more of
Hmm.
the card too. I don't remember the majority of the card, but like the card that I've seen is pretty stacked and it's gonna be pretty fun.
Nice. I
Yeah.
know uh, the year end extravaganza. it's going to be kind of interesting for me
Hmm.
because, well, for us here in Nebraska, our college football team has been the drizzling shits for about the past 10 years.
Yeah.
And well, they just this last season finally qualified for a bowl game.
Oh.
And it happens to be that day in Yankee Stadium.
Oh wow.
And well, my wife and I are having our baby and will still be most likely in the hospital. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna be holding my baby during that, and then gonna,
Gonna need the multiple screens.
yes, I'm gonna need multiple screens,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be a interesting, interesting day because I mean, Lord knows, I wish that I could be up there, but I got more important things over
Oh
here.
yeah, of course. Of course.
Oh God, I
Family always comes first. I even say that in my wrestling career. It's like family has to come before wrestling.
oh yeah. That's why when I'm taking that break, but when I come back, I've set a pretty strict limit on the amount of recordings that I'll do in a week.
Hmm.
Is that way it's like, you know what? I want to be there as much as damn possible for anything for my son. So whatever the hell it's gonna be. But yeah, I want to share in some cool stuff. I don't want to, stop doing this because
Hmm.
I want to, one day, you know, show my son some of the stuff that I've been able to do with this and, you know, tell him about, oh, I got to meet so and so at this show and blah, blah, blah.
Oh
So,
yeah.
still keep it going, get that something that I can share with my son that,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's awesome. I think
I,
that's
I,
something all dads want, you know?
oh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm definitely, I, I get a little smile just thinking about it. I won't lie.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, dude.
I even, my wife, the first time I told her about this, kind of looked at me like, what? But I found this cartoonish looking stuffed toy of Bray Wyatt.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I had light bulb pop in my head. They called his fans the Fireflies. I'm going to get that toy for my son, get a picture of him with it or me holding the both of them and caption it, welcome to the world, little Firefly, and then tag JoJo in it.
Nice.
So we'll see. But I was actually, before I got on that tangent, which Lord knows that happens enough to me on these episodes.
It's all good.
I was thinking one thing with H2O that I was remembering. There's not too many people that are regulars there that I haven't had on at this point. Like I had somebody joke with me around here that there was a period of time over the last year or so that it seemed like most of the episodes that I was releasing for a while for H2O people. And not that I'm complaining.
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge fan, all the way out here in Nebraska, but I think if I got my notes right here, the only ones that I can think of that are regulars that I haven't had on, Declan Grant, Bam Sullivan, Mouse, Brax, and Lady Blakely.
Mm. Declan might be your hardest one to get now that he's a meanie. Um
Yeah.
and Bam's really busy. So you might be able to get him at some point.
Yeah. No, I attempted, but yeah, like you said, very busy person.
Yeah. And yeah, because I know like you've had like Louis on, you've had Leroy on, you've had Anthrax and Stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, and like that's kind of the coolest thing about like our roster is that it's like it is diverse. Like we got like we got a bunch of like, punk kids that are, just vibing, having a good time. I don't mean punk in a bad way. I mean like musically, you know?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's
Um,
definitely the punk rock feel to it.
yeah, exactly. But like everyone's got their own thing going on. And I like that we are I like the vibe of what we have there and being brought into that locker room, I'm beyond happy with where I'm at.
Oh yeah, no, I can definitely I get that feeling just watching the shows because Lord knows I've said my piece on this one situation here local to me, but let's just say some craziness went on that I was glad not to be a part of after doing one thing for said show. And yeah,
Oh yeah.
to be able to know a group of people that have that feel to it,
Hmm.
I love it.
Oh
That's
yeah.
one thing that I love outside of the actual shows is having got to talk to so many of you guys. I definitely got that feeling that it's just a good solid group of people that just want to put on some kick-ass wrestling.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. It's, like Matt tells us every time, like stay safe, have fun. And that's all that,
Mm.
all that we
Oh,
all intend to do. Like, the thing I like best about it is that all the dirty, awful shit you hear about the wrestling world, like, isn't in that place.
that,
And
yeah.
that's what drew me to it, because I came from a place that was like that. So like seeing the worst side of it and then like the best side of it so early in my like wrestling career, like uh, it's a weird you know it's a weird feeling to go from a point that was kind of like terrible and almost pushed me out of it, and then within a few months of feeling that way, coming into H2O and being like, oh no, wrestling can be cool, it can be good. it
No, yeah.
isn't it isn't meant to be ran by snakes and awful people. Like, there are good people in wrestling.
Oh yeah. No, I've definitely been fortunate enough to run into more of the good side than the bad, but I mean,
Yeah.
Lord knows, run into the bad at some point, and yeah, it happens. But you know what? You just reminded me, Matt, Matt Tremont himself. He is one of the only other ones that I haven't had on yet.
Oh, okay.
Not that I haven't tried,
Oh yeah.
but that guy is another busy guy himself.
Yeah, he's super busy. Like GCW, BCW, like he's all over the place right now. It's
Going down
awesome.
to freaking Australia.
Going to Australia, yeah, yep.
But yeah, definitely a busy, busy man. And you know what? We did talk earlier about one kind of partnership with H2O and TWE, but there
Hmm.
was also something that you were a part of with Bloodstorm and New South,
Oh yeah.
which that looked like a fun show. I know, I believe you're the match you were in. I haven't released the episode yet, but another former guest of mine was in that match with you, Marcus Dillon.
Oh yeah, Marcus Dillon was a really cool dude. Him and oh, I'm blanking on his tag partner's name. Shit.
Yeah, shit,
Um,
shit, it happens.
yeah, nice kid from the South with him. I'm really mad that I can't remember his name. But they tagged as evil, if that helps everyone at the end.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
do remember the name.
Yeah. But yeah, they were really nice kids. Um the match was
Believe
good. I was happy with
believe
it at the end of the day. Me and Nico were supposed to do like a tag thing that fell apart, and I had fun with the dynamic of like him being the dickhead and me always trying to tag myself back in and doing the cheer boo thing because he's in the ring and then I get in the ring. And yeah, no, that
yeah.
that whole thing was fun. It was supposed to end with um like a barbed wire death match to like kind of end our feud, and I don't know, something happened and he wasn't able to make it, so it is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've been lucky enough, with not so much with Bloodstorm. I've had a handful with New South from the commentary team with a guy that, hell, he was just there this last weekend as of this recording with Jameson Shook.
Hmm.
Had him on a while back, and yeah, he was one that in that uh, Tremont's Tournament of Death that I'm like, I don't know, maybe I just don't know why I didn't see him in the deathmatch scene, but when I watched that back, I'm like, damn, okay, he can fucking go in there. With
Yeah,
in the like he can go in there in general, but
mhm.
in the deathmatch world, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if his first death match was against Tremont or not. I don't know if he did one beforehand, but like the one that I remember watching of his was the one he did because Shook put on like his own like show,
Yeah,
and him and Matt were in a death match together, and man, like he did great. He did really fucking good. Like Shook's on my list of guys from I when I went down to TWE, I was like, I literally want to work everybody in this locker room at some point or another. Because like I would really enjoy getting to work him at some point. Like I think we could make a really fun death match together.
that would be a good one. I
Yeah.
like I don't know why I didn't think about it before now, but yeah, no, seeing the two of you go at it in there, that I'm sure that could be one hell of an entertaining show for everybody in it.
I think
Even
so.
in attendance or watching wherever the hell they'd be watching it.
Yeah.
All right. Now I have some random questions here. I would have put my name game category back in here, but I'm like, damn it, I'm trying to remember if who I had in there the last time. I was
Oh,
like, I
okay.
was gonna feel awkward if I had the same damn people in there, like the whole freaking thing. So, like, you know what? I know I can come up with some random questions that were different.
Hell yeah, let's go.
All right. As of recording, we are inching closer and closer to Christmas. Everybody has a gift in particular that they just remember as like a favorite of theirs. Like, no matter how long ago it was, it just sticks out. What
Hmm.
is like a favorite Christmas gift of yours that you got growing up?
That is the easiest answer when I got a Nintendo 64.
Ah,
Yeah.
I still, I still got mine just off to the back here.
Oh yeah,
Like,
mine's hooked up right underneath this laptop right now.
oh, oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I got what was it? I got an N64 with Star Wars Shadows of the Empire and Automobile Lamborghini. I remember
Mm.
those were the two games I got. I just remember it was Star Wars and a racing game, and I think it came bundled with Mario 64. Um, so
Yeah,
that sticks out the most for me for a Christmas gift.
I know when it was. I don't believe it was Christmas that I ended up getting mine, but I do remember that one of the games that I wanted, and it ended up being the one that I got when I first got the system, Wave Race 64.
Oh, that's a great one.
That was fun. Like I
Yeah.
had so much fun with that damn game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just remembered I thought that my parents might have gotten rid of it because I hadn't seen it. So I ended up buying some one of them off a former coworker of mine. And then my parents brought home a bunch, like a tub full of my stuff from their house. And wouldn't you know, they're at the bottom of it. My old 64.
Nice.
But my absolute favorite Christmas gift I ever got, I have to go all the way back to third grade. I still remember it. And it was, I had heard that the WWF was coming to Lincoln, which is like an hour away from me. I'm like,
Hmm.
I just remember begging my parents, like, I want to go. I want to go. And well, Christmas, there's tickets.
Oh,
And
nice.
when we went, we were like maybe I'd say no more than 10 rows from the ring. We're like main floor and like not too far from the entrance. And I remembered the match that jumps out that I know all the participants, Yokozuna versus Big Boss Man.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I was like a little third grader. And here comes Yokozuna walking within like 2 feet from me. And I'm like, don't kill me.
Like he's got to be gigantic.
Oh, dude. So gigantic.
That's
And
how I felt when I was at a show and Brock Lesnar was there, and I was like, yeah, he's fucking big.
yeah, no, I've had a few people like that myself, like Dan Severn, the time I got to meet him.
Oh man, my buddy Rhino would freak out if he got to meet Dan Severn. Like
Dude,
legit, his favorite wrestler of all time is Dan Severn.
like waiting in line, intimidating as hell to look at.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
but
he
you
could shoot,
get,
kill you.
yeah, but you get to talking to him. One of the nicest dudes ever.
Oh, absolutely.
And I actually got to meet one of the people that was on my first ever show when I got to meet Rikishi.
Mm-hmm.
He was part of the head shrinkers at the time.
Oh, cool.
And I actually got a head shrinker Fatu figure signed by him.
That's dope.
And I got to tell him the story of him being in my first ever WWF show.
That's awesome.
So it was kind of a full circle moment for me. But yeah, to get to the point, hands down, favorite Christmas gift ever was that one. And Lord knows the only way anybody would probably ever beat it, which knowing the way prices are going for these anymore, WrestleMania tickets. If somebody managed to get me WrestleMania tickets for Christmas, that would
Oh
be
yeah.
the only thing that would ever beat it.
The only time I had an opportunity to go and I should have went was I think it was Mania 19 that was at MetLife Stadium, or was it 18?
One of the two.
Or not eight, no, sorry. Wow. I meant 29. Sorry.
29, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The one with damn, getting hit in the head, you fuck up numbers. But the it was the Mania where the big feud was CM Punk and Undertaker.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was when like tickets were still kind of like reasonably priced and like totally could have gone. I just couldn't find anyone to want to drive up to New York with me, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch it on TV. And now I'm like kicking myself because I'm like, man, that would have been fucking cool to go to. And now with how expensive they are, like, we kicked the idea around of like going when it was in Philly, but when seeing like the cheapest ticket was like $600, I'm like,
And that's like
I'll
in the
watch on TV.
nosebleeds.
Yeah, no, I get it if like if you want to do it as like a one-time experience and you're like, I don't know the next time I'm going to get to do this, then by all means, I'm not judging at all.
Yeah.
But I am on a bartender and wrestler's budget and I can't go.
No, I, the budget that I had, even some of the more reasonable, like looking back, yeah, I probably could have afforded to go to some of them, but
hmm
good Lord, it's like you have to take out a second mortgage on your fucking house to try to pay for tickets to the damn thing.
Yeah, I mean they definitely price it out where it's like it's for the super fans. It's not for the average person because I mean that's honestly that's why they do the house show loop because those are cheap. That's why they do Raws and SmackDowns because those are moderate. So I mean they got a balanced like pricing structure for what they're offering. If you want to go to a cheap show, you go to a house show. If you want to be the guy that's like, sitting front row with your replica belt and yelling and being a hard cam, then, $20,000 is fine to spend. Um, I'm
No.
selling 8x10s for $5. Please come over and get one because clearly you got it.
Oh God. Like
Sorry,
if I
$10. My bad.
if I were to ever have even attempted the last couple of years to try to go,
Mhm.
my wife would have probably killed me. Like she knows that I yet to ever go to one of the, I guess now, premium live events.
Yeah.
I've yet to go to any of them, so it's like bucket list item. I don't care if I'm in the nosebleeds. I just want to go to one. But yeah, no, the price for nosebleeds to Mania, it's like, well, I guess Mania is out of the fucking question.
Yeah. I honestly can't even. No, I don't think I've ever. No, I've been to a couple. I've been to like Battleground one year for the Shield Triple Threat, and I think that's it for pay-per-views. I've been to more of the AEW ones. Like this is pre being a wrestler. Like I didn't debut to be a pro wrestler until 2022. So these I'm talking about fan days pre-pandemic. Um, but yeah, I think I went to the first Dynamite in DC, and then I went to Full Gear, and there was another AEW pay-per-view I went to. I just can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. I've never even been to one of their pay-per-views. I've been to a Dynamite, and they held Collision just across the river from uh, me here in Omaha, and I ended up being second row right behind the announce desk.
Okay.
That was fun. I
Yeah.
even ended up cracking Luther.
Nice.
Like, oh god. Okay, that Wednesday before, here I go on another fucking tangent, but the Wednesday before, it was the time that Tony Storm had talked about Mariah May slapping the tits off her opponent. And well, I was like, oh my God, tell me that Tony Storm is going to be at Collision.
It's a good line.
No, yeah. Well, she was. And there was a point where the crowd had just got done cheering. She was in the corner. And I just yelled out over everybody, slap her tits off. And like Luther, I could just see him go, what the fuck? Like looking over to like, who said that?
Nice.
And then I'm like, okay, I have to go watch that back. Like on TV, I got to see. Well, motherfuckers, it was during one of those picture in picture moments, but I saw when it happened. So good enough for me.
Right.
All right. Next question here before I go into another tangent. Bucket money. When abnormal amount of money that, you can finally afford something that you never thought you'd actually be able to afford. If you had bucket money, what would be one of the first things you'd get?
First thing, get the hell out of debt.
That
That's
that's a
that's
solid.
yeah, the absolute first thing. Then I would open a um a series of care centers for elderly dogs. That's literally all I want to do. Like if I can retire or at some point start open like a nursing home essentially for elderly dogs because it does suck when they get left in shelters and it's for whatever reason, I don't judge how people have to surrender their dogs. I just hate it when it's like they're old and I don't want to deal with it anymore and like it's not fair for them. They're scared. They have no idea what's going
Yeah.
on. And at that old age, it's kind of traumatic for them to be put into those kind of situations, especially if they're weak. So like, my heart bleeds for pups.
Oh,
So
same.
that's if I ever had like fuck you money, that's what I would do. I would reinvest it in that and then probably
Oh,
do a bunch of other humanitarian stuff because like the without tanging too far from pro wrestling, the real world sucks. So whatever I can do to try to make it a little better, I would like to
oh
do.
yeah. No, I can be right there along with you because I know
Mhm.
my wife and I we've we had a elderly English bulldog
Mhm.
for the longest time. It was like there was a point where we were like we thought out of the like three or four dogs that we had that there was going to be that time where we were going to have to make that unfortunate decision to I mean, not give her away because we were like, you know what? She's comfortable here. She knows she's loved. She's staying here.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, it was weird because our other dogs that were younger ended up passing away.
Whoa.
And she was still around and ticking. And,
That's pretty crazy.
you know, it was weird. It was maybe, I guess, kind of fitting, uh, for the lack of a better way to put it. But she ended up passing, my wife and I were out of the house for something, and then we came back, and she was just curled up on the couch like she just crawled up there to take a nap. And we got back, and she was gone.
That's kind of how it happens. I mean, I've had the the unfortunate, responsibility of having to put two of my dogs down, and it's never anything that's easy because I
Yeah,
mean, honestly, if they could just tell you what they wanted, they sometimes I feel like they'd go a lot earlier than we let them,
yeah.
because they'd be able to communicate. But like currently, I have five dogs, so I am purposely setting myself up for five little heartbreaks, you especially. But yeah, no, I'm just trying to enjoy the time I have with them while I can. Like my
Oh
beagle
yeah,
died at 14, my corgi mix died at like 10 or 12, I think. It was like I never really knew how old he was. Like someone
yeah,
surrendered him and I just took him. So,
yeah.
and that dog ended up being like my like legit little best friend. So, he was a hard one and his was like out of nowhere. It was like
Yeah.
he got pneumonia, then something else happened with his heart. They were like, "Oh, like something might be wrong with his heart." Heart ended up being fine. Then they were doing a sonic or what is it, ultrasound? And then they found out that he had like a growth on his spleen and they were like, "Well, that's either two things, cancer or benign, but we have to open him up to figure out what it is." And I was like, they're gonna put him under, and then they're also going to euthanize him if it is cancer. So I was like, you know, what's the chances of him living happily? And they're like, pretty good. And I'm like, all right, well, let's just hope for the best. And I got like another like year out of him. Um, but like he was blind, and just he was literally sticking around for me at a certain point. I feel like,
No, I get you there. Well, you know what? On a happier note,
yeah, sorry to bring everyone down.
but hey, it just goes to show you that before we get into that, it just goes to show you that, you know, for a lot of people, their their pets, their dogs, their cats are just like another member of the family. And when somebody loses one of those, it hurts just like they lose any human member of their family.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a big void that's there.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, on to the happy thing. And
Yeah.
some people might find us crazy for talking about this as happy stuff, but you know what? You talked about and I'm going to get this right, Baltimore Tower.
The Baltimore
The
Towers.
Baltimore Tower. Any other crazy weapon ideas that you haven't made yet that are spinning around there that you are just wanting to get out
Ooh.
that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, I've made a couple things like the gusset plate VHSs was another idea I had that was pretty fun.
That just
Um
sounds fun.
yeah, so it's there's a picture of Anthrax knocking it into my noggin and it being stuck in my head, so it's like a copy of Shriek on a gusset plate just this way, and I'm just gushing. Then the second one he pounded a copy of the Gorgon into my arm and that was sticking out of me. Um but I've made those. I've done like VHS doors. I like doing shit with dead media. So I have an idea to do a CD board where I break CDs into pieces and put it in foam on a board and
Ooh,
drop someone on them.
oh,
So that would
yeah,
suck, but
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I might do it. Um Like that's an idea. The katana was like kind of a cool thing. I don't really do it much anymore. Um, I kind of traded the katana for the um, what is it? The turkey carving knife.
Mm.
Because that thing has been just fucking over like Rover. I'm using that shit all the time. Any chance I can get, I'm cutting someone's melon with that thing.
That is awesome. Yeah,
Trying to trying to think of
you
some. There's some I
know,
have written down. I just don't. I don't want to. I don't want to. The
don't
element
worry.
of surprise is really cool. I'll say that.
No,
So,
I gotta agree with you. There is something about when watching a deathmatch show and they bring out just some random contraption that leaves you wondering what in the fuck is that?
that is kind of my favorite reaction in any match I have when I'm unveiling a new thing is people going, "Oh fuck, what is that?" Realizing what it is and then going, "Oh no, he's going to use that."
Oh god.
Yeah.
Like I remember specifically I ended up getting to have him on to promote this, but it Ricky Shane Page, I had him on to promote a show that he was going to have Peapod and Nick Manawa on commentary, and
Mm.
his match was against Cruel, and they had this thing was like a death from above death match where they had this thing in the
Oh, it was the fan
corner,
of tubes?
the fan of tubes
Yeah.
that he got pushed in and it like the something latched and it like fell and just like
Yeah, I remember
whipped
seeing
the
it.
fan of tubes into him.
Yep.
I'm like, holy
It's a
shit.
hell of a gnarly contraption.
Like you see stuff like that and you're just it leaves you wondering, like I know that what the fuck is that? That was one of those where you're like, okay, well, they kind of talked about what it was, but how the hell is that gonna and then boom, he gets pushed and then it goes off and you're like, oh.
Yeah. That's kind of like the like that weird anticipation because like I think like there's two ways to doing it and like I'm still new, I don't know shit, but this is just what I've noticed and what other more experienced people have told me. It's like sometimes having the gimmick or the contraption visible for the whole match and then you're like, all right, well, when are we going to go through it, because everyone's just waiting for you to go through someone to go through the thing. Yeah, there's that aspect of it which creates tension, and then I like there's also the big surprise of here's this big fucking thing and everyone's like, "Bah, what the fuck? Where did that come from?" So like, I don't know. There's two ways to skin a cat in that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh god. When
I don't know which I prefer. Sometimes I like one over the other. Like,
you know what, they both have their advantages. Like I can see, like, okay, you have a venue that has kind of a garage door type thing on one wall that
mhm.
like it open all of a sudden during a match it opens up and you see this freaking weird ass contraption being brought in and you're like, holy shit, what is that?
Yeah.
And
Something I
then
really want to do, and like it's just I guess a matter of planning, but like I really miss like the gigantic boards of barbed wire like from the old CZW days. Like I just don't see them much anymore. Like
yeah,
it's I'm sure it's like a transportation thing or a size thing or something, but like having a big like 14 by 16 board of fucking barbed wire and it's just being ominously standing in the ring just is like such a cool visual. Um
yeah,
I would love to have like a throwback like 2002, 2003 like barbed wire death match with somebody and it's like just pulling from all that shit from the old days,
that
which it's
that would that would be pretty.
it feels weird saying the old days when like I was fucking like 17, 16 around that time and I'm like, yeah, back in the old times, fucking God damn it, I'm getting old.
So you're getting old. Look at
Hmm.
me now.
Yeah.
I'm about to what about four two. Oh God. Yeah, I'm about to turn like 42. Oh God.
Oh, I'm 5 years behind you, or
E-
4 years behind you.
Oh God. Yeah, yeah. No, it's only downhill from there, as they say.
Oh yeah.
That is about it. But before we go, where can people find you social media wise so if they don't already have their eyes on the hardcore Hoochie Daddy, they can go ahead and get them there.
You can find me at every single social media platform under Violent Breed JBA. The Hardcore Hoochie Daddy is on TikTok. The Hardcore Hoochie Daddy is on Instagram. The Hardcore Hoochie Daddy's on Facebook. Hardcore Hoochie Daddy's on fucking Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Shit, I even went over to the Blue Sky gimmick. I'm on there too. Anything you can think of, I'm fucking on it. So follow, like my shit. That's all you got to do.
All right. That is all I got. Thank you for stopping by again.
Yes,
I
sir.
wish you well on the year-end extravaganza and everything coming in 2025. I look forward to keeping an eye on all of it.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, I'm really eager to see what 2025 brings. I got some cool shit in the chamber. Just keep an eye out, keep following on socials, keep following H2O, keep checking out what we're doing. It's gonna be fun. And also
All
keep
right.
listening to the Drinkin at Mo's fucking podcast. Either you watch
Yes.
it or you listen to it. Pay attention, wander around the house while you listen, do dishes. I don't give a fuck. Just pay attention to Drinkin at Mo's.
Yes. See, now here's with the fucking button again. God fucking damn it.